We are going to graph in rational form. Look at this doozy of a problem. We're putting together everything that we've looked at over the last week and a half to do this problem. We need to identify horizontal asymptotes, vertical asymptotes, holes, and graph the thing on this paper. Get your graphing calculators out now if you haven't done so already. We're going to start with our horizontal asymptote. That's because the horizontal asymptote, remember from back on Tuesday, is from the degree of the numerator compared to the degree of the denominator. When the degree of the numerator is less than the degree of the denominator, we get a horizontal asymptote of y equals 0. So y equals 0 is my horizontal, my HA asymptote. That's the y equals 0, the x-axis. So right across the x-axis is our horizontal asymptote. To find the other parts, that is the vertical asymptotes from the denominator and holes, I need to factor all of this. I need to do the MA method up in the numerator. I need to do a GCF of x from the denominator and then do the MA method. Pause the video and get those factored. Do the MA method, do a GCF and the MA method here. When I factor, the numerator becomes x plus 7 times x minus 4. The denominator factors as x times x minus 7 times x minus 4. This does two things for me. I'm going to cancel out x minus 4, both top and bottom, which creates a hole. That hole is where x is equal to 4, and I will figure out the coordinates of it when I'm done with the problem, when I'm done with the algebra part of it. It also creates in the denominator two vertical asymptotes. Remember, it's where the denominator is equal to 0. I get vertical asymptotes, those are VAs, where x is equal to 0 and where x is equal to 7. Where x is equal to 0, that's the y-axis. That's one of them. And where x is equal to 7, hopefully I'm graphing this in the right spot, is over here. We're going to have three areas of the graph. We're going to have something going on in this, something going on in that, and then again over here. Three different parts of the graph. I figure out what that graph looks like with your graphing calculator. I want you to take what we have left of this fraction after taking the whole out and put it into y1. I'm going to write it and explain how to type it in a second here. Your equation to write in y1 is x plus 7 over x times x minus 7. However, as we've talked about all semester, you have to be careful with parentheses. You're going to type a parenthesis and then x plus 7 in a parenthesis, then the divide sign, and another parenthesis for x, x minus 7, and a last parenthesis. You need all of those when you type it in. I want you to do that. I want you to hit graph. Have a look at what this is going to look like that we need to put on this graph paper, and then go to the table. Hit pause and do those things. Okay, you should be back now. You'll see that you've got in that graph something going on here. We'll grab a point and put it, there's something here, we'll get that out of the table. I've got a hole going on somewhere here with this upside down U shape. It's not a parabola, but it's that U shape. And then I've got another part of the graph going on up here. We'll look in the table and grab a point. We want something for over here first. I want you to look in the table where x is negative, on the other side of where x is equal to 0. So -1, -2, -3. And you can see that you have the point -1, 0.75. You're going to plot that as a nice big blobby point and then graph that function around the asymptotes like we did last week. I also want you to look in the table where x is 4, because where x is 4 gives me that middle area. But it's a hole, remember, so we're going to graph a hole there. We're going to graph a hole, if you look at the table, at 4, negative 0.9. At 4, negative 0.9, it's very hard with this stylus, you're going to actually draw a big open circle and then graph it to the asymptotes, similar to what we've done in the past. Then the last part is looking at a place over here in that third where x is greater than 7, 8, 9, 10. Look in the table. You'll see that the point 8, 1.875, I think it is in the table. So you have a nice big blobby point there, and you draw it to the asymptotes like we've done in the past. Now you have your horizontals, your hole, your vertical asymptotes, all 3 parts of the graph, and you're done. I know it's long, but take those steps: horizontal asymptote, hole, vertical asymptotes, and then type it in to get points to plot in the graph. You have 2 problems left to do yourself. Follow the process and everything we've learned this week and do these 2 graphs here at the bottom. I'll talk to you next week.